Picture us around a campfire, shadows flickering, the night thick with pine and mystery. Tonight's stories aren't just campfire tales. They're true accounts of summer nights gone wrong. Even the safest moments can turn sinister when darkness falls. So lean in, imagine yourself in these stories and ask, what would you do when the night turns strange? Alex loved midnight swims. There was a certain tranquility he found in the cool embrace of the water under the starlit sky. It was his way of connecting with nature, a personal ritual that brought him peace after long days. He felt weightless, free from the burdens of the world as he glided through the dark, still water. These swims always took place at his family's lakeside campsite, a place filled with cherished memories and the comforting crackle of the campfire. The familiar scent of pine and damp earth always added to the sense of security. It was a sanctuary, a place where he felt safe and connected to his roots. But one night, everything changed. As he floated in the inky blackness, a prickling sensation crawled across his skin. He felt watched, as if unseen eyes were boring into him from the depths of the surrounding woods. The feeling was subtle at first, a mere unease, but it quickly intensified. The woods were silent, unnaturally so. The usual chorus of crickets and nocturnal creatures had ceased, leaving an unsettling void in their wake. It was as if the entire forest was holding its breath, waiting. Then, a low, wet clicking echoed from the darkness, breaking the silence. It was a sound he couldn't quite place, alien and unsettling. Each click grew closer, deliberate, patient, as if something was stalking him, slowly closing the distance. The sound resonated through the water, vibrating in his very bones. Panic surged, a cold wave of terror washed over him, paralyzing him for a moment. Alex thrashed for shore, his arms and legs churning the water in a desperate attempt to escape the unseen threat. The clicking was replaced by a heavy dragging in the undergrowth, a sound that suggested something large and powerful was moving through the bushes, keeping pace with him. He never looked back, his heart pounding in his chest, adrenaline coursing through his veins. He was sprinting to the campfire's safety, the flickering flames a beacon of hope in the overwhelming darkness. He never swam at night again. The tranquility he once found in the lake was forever tainted by the memory of that terrifying encounter. Sometimes the lake's surface hides more than reflections. It conceals secrets, mysteries, and perhaps things best left undisturbed. What would you do if you were alone, vulnerable, and far from help? What if something waited for you in the dark, something unseen, unknown, and undeniably malevolent? Maya and Ben, two souls drawn to the allure of the unknown, urban explorers with a thirst for adventure, always seeking the path less traveled, stumbled upon what appeared to be just another forgotten relic, a weathered and worn cabin, nestled deep within the embrace of the forest's ancient trees. Little did they know this was no ordinary find. It was a place where secrets slumbered and darkness held dominion. Inside, a thick blanket of dust and an unnerving silence pressed in, a heavy atmosphere that seemed to suffocate the very air. The air hung still, heavy with the weight of untold stories and forgotten memories. But the silence was soon broken when their fingers brushed against a dusty, leather-bound journal hidden beneath a pile of debris. It was a relic of a life lived and lost within these very walls. As they turned the brittle pages, its entries began to reveal a descent into madness, a chilling narrative that grew increasingly paranoid with each passing word. Whispers, barely audible, seemed to echo from the corners of the room. Shadows danced in their peripheral vision, playing tricks on their minds, blurring the line between reality and nightmare. A growing sense of dread washed over them, the feeling of an ominous presence, a silent observer that listened intently to their every move. The last line, scrawled in a desperate hand, sent shivers down their spines. "It's inside with me now, it never wants anyone to leave." Suddenly, as if summoned by the words themselves, the cabin door slammed shut with a deafening bang, sealing them inside. Darkness, absolute and suffocating, enveloped them. A chilling scratching sound echoed from the corner, growing louder with each passing second. Trapped and desperate, they clawed frantically at the door, their knuckles raw and bleeding. Hearts pounding in their chests, they fought against the unseen force that held them captive. The oppressive silence of the woods was gone, shattered by the raw, primal terror that now consumed them. Would you dare to enter this forsaken place? A place the forest itself seems determined to keep hidden, a place where the past refuses to stay buried? Imagine a bustling campground alive with families and friends, their laughter echoing through the trees. The sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the crowded camping area. Sarah, a young woman enjoying a weekend getaway, excused herself from the campfire. She needed to use the restroom, a brightly lit building, a short walk down a gravel path. Little did anyone know, this simple trip would turn into a nightmare. Sarah left for the restroom and vanished. When Sarah didn't return after a reasonable time, her friends grew worried. They grabbed their flashlights and began searching the immediate area, calling out her name, their voices laced with growing anxiety. As panic set in, they alerted the park rangers. Soon a full-scale search was underway. Park rangers with search dogs scoured the woods. But despite their best efforts and the countless hours spent combing through the undergrowth, they found nothing. No sign of Sarah, no clues to her whereabouts. Only her flashlight remained, lying abandoned in the grass, its beam fading in trampled grass, a silent testament to her sudden disappearance. No one saw or heard a thing. The other campers remained oblivious, tucked away in their tents. No evidence, no answers surfaced in the investigation. In a place full of people where laughter and conversation filled the air just moments before, she was swallowed by the night, leaving behind only unanswered questions and a chilling sense of unease. Sometimes the scariest mysteries happen in plain sight, defying logic and leaving us grappling with the unknown. How can someone disappear without a trace, vanishing into thin air in a place teeming with life? The mystery of Sarah remains unsolved, a haunting reminder of the fragility of our existence. The fire's embers fade, but the unease lingers. Summer adventures can turn dark in an instant. Trust your instincts and stay alert. Share your own strange stories below. Let's keep the campfire burning in the comments. Thanks for joining me. Be safe out there.